Oh. What's up, everybody? It's been a long time. My name is T. Maybe you've forgotten. I forgot my own name. But yeah, here we are making another video for Yo-yo. It's been a really long time. I don't know if these videos are going to continue. I basically had a few yo-yos left in the queue that I felt like I needed to talk about. Both of these yo-yos were sent to me by the people who made them, which was very, very kind of them. For today's video, the person who made it told me, like, you don't need to make a video, but, you know, I gonna make it even though it's very late. I'm very sorry. So today's yo-yo actually comes from Mike Montgomery. This is the Memento. If you're anything like me, you're gonna enjoy like yo-yos that are a little bit more off the beaten path, not like the kind of mass-produced Yo-Yo Factory stuff. What was the last good Yo-Yo Factory yo-yo I liked? Aviator 2, that's a really good yo-yo. I also really like the Checkpoint. Anyway, so we're gonna be talking about the Memento today. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the camera around so you can get a look at it, and we'll kind of talk about the shape and stuff. All right, so here we are looking at the Memento. So this is by Mike Montgomery, who's been in the yo-yo scene for a really long time. He does tutorials, he does live streams, he does long form video. He's been doing video blogs and regular blogs and all sorts of stuff on the yo-yo internet for a long time. This is not the first yo-yo he's ever designed. I believe the first yo-yo design he ever made was, I think, called the Sprout or something like that. It never came out. It was a long time ago. Then he was making fixies for a while, which fixie is like a wooden yo-yo that's fixed axle. It doesn't have a bearing inside. And those are cool too. I've got one of those as well. And then this one is his newest. This is the Full Metal 6061. It's called the Memento. It's got a very neat engraving here. As far as what you see in the cup, there's this flat hub inside here with a nipple in the center. You've got the engraving for Mike Montgomery under it. You'll see that logo on all his stuff. Very cool, very minimal. Doesn't get in the way of finger spins at all. And then you've got a few cuts going up to the very, very thick rims here. I know he said he made these rims, I believe I read it somewhere, for ring grinds, for thumb grinds, so that's pretty cool. As far as the shape, he's mentioned that it's described as an organic, I believe. I think I remember reading that on his site or in a tweet or something, an Instagram post maybe. But he mentions that a couple inspirations was the Markmont Classic, which is a one-drop yo-yo, which I've always wanted to get my hands on. But some one-drop yo-yos are very, very expensive, especially in Japan. It's a more popular yo-yo brand as far as like, I don't know what you call it, it's kind of treated like a boutique company in Japan, so they tend to go for a lot more. So usually Markmonts will go for well over $100, and I'm not paying that for a yo-yo anymore. But anyway, this he's mentioned has inspiration from both the Markmont Classic and the Yo-Yo Factory Jackknife. Now, I've mentioned Yo-Yo Factory just a little bit before. I am not a fan of theirs. I definitely was really hyped for the Jackknife and the Expedition, I think it was called, way back when they were doing their base camp stuff. And I think the Jackknife was really overhyped. It was really expensive. I think it was $80 or $90 in Japan, which is really expensive. And the thing is just, it's not a good yo-yo to me. I didn't enjoy it at all. It feels hollow. The response was terrible. It was really inconsistent. I just did not like it. It was one of those yo-yos where I went back and forth on it a lot, the Jackknife. Some days I kind of liked it, and other days I hated it, and most of the times I land on the side of I hate it. It does look really nice, and it's pretty, and it's got a cool design, but I don't like it at all. So when he mentioned that, I was kind of worried that the Memento would play a lot like the Jackknife, but to me it doesn't. And I don't know if that's just me. Anyway, I'm blabbing a lot, and I've recently heard in one of my comments that I talk way too much. So I guess, you know, you come to a review to just look at a yo-yo and not hear anybody talk, but boy, I'm really sarcastic today. Lastly, I guess we can talk about the color. He let me choose between the first run colors. This was a ways back before, like, you know, mail wasn't going out and we didn't have a global crisis. But yeah, I chose the gunmetal, which I think is a beautiful color. It looks kind of gray right now on this picture, but it's also in my hand as I'm looking at it with my human eyes. It looks kind of brown, and then in some other light it even looks slightly purplish, so it's a really fascinating color. I absolutely love it. They all come with a zipline string because zipline is the only yo-yo string you should be playing with. Honest to goodness, there's not a better string on the market, I promise you. And you're not going to meet a harder worker than Jeremy. He is amazing and his family is awesome. They're all just very, very good people. Apparently I talked too much in my reviews, so why don't we go ahead and throw this around and I will show you what I think. Now keep in mind, I am a terrible yo-yo player, so you're not going to see any fancy tricks. So anybody out there thinking I got better in the last few months, you're about to be disappointed. All right, so we're going to throw the Memento around here a little bit. This is a really fun yo-yo. So you guys know, as you can see from the shirt I'm wearing, I'm a big lover of the honey badger, and this yo-yo feels a lot like that. And I don't mean it actually feels like a honey badger, but it feels like they come from the same sort of place. They have the same vibe as an independent companies. They have this sort of feeling where they're not really on the same path as everyone else. They feel a little bit off the cuff, like they're sort of serving more personal design preferences rather than going for something that everyone will really, really love, which I think is cool. It's a lot bulkier than a lot of yo-yos you might try. It's got that really rounded shape. Some might call it an H shape, but I think it's definitely like an HO mix. You could probably tell from the response. Really, really nice response. The pads he uses are amazing, and it's got, it does come with a green, I think, Skyline string. I am using a white one because I think white with the gunmetal looks really nice. Sorry, I'm just repeating the same tricks over and over because it's been too long. But the response is very, very... There we go. That was my own fault. The response is very, very reliable. Let's see, what can it do? In terms of finger grinds, it's actually much more reliable than you'd think because the gap doesn't really allow for your finger to get inside, but somehow like those ridges keep your finger sort of centered, but you do have to give it your attention. For finger spins, they're fine if you get the bind right. That's my own fault. Whoop, I just made a knot. Finger spins are fine. They are more, I mean, it's not centering or anything, so I think it's good at what I like to say, like finger spin classic. Like you don't have a gimmick that's feeding your finger, force feeding your finger into the center of the yo-yo, which is fine. That's a design some people like, and I think it has its place too, because finger spins are fun and flashy and good to show someone who's never seen a yo-yo before. Let's try that bind one more time, see if I can do it. Come on. But since it has that nice open cup, it's very easy to catch, and I find that the nub kind of gets your finger to go around in a really nice way. And the engraving, you can't even feel it at all. Yeah, so what else? What else? Slacks here. It's got a nice wide shape. It's actually a much wider yo-yo. I remember like checking it against like the Manatee or something, and it's pretty wide actually. I'm not sure offhand what the actual specs are, but it's very, very wide. Much wider than you might think. And I think it's because that big bulky size, you don't feel the width so much because it's all very nicely even, like it's proportional, that's the word I'm looking for. See about regions here. Really rolls off your bind really nicely. That's not the yo-yo's fault, that's my fault for not regenning properly. But yeah, it really does do that quite well, as you can see here. This is a really nice yo-yo to learn tricks on because it does have that really nice all-rounder feel to it. So I've been trying to learn follow on it. Oh, I know, I'm still very sloppy. It's hard for me to find the right timing for that. Oh, I got a knot. Huh. Don't know when that happened. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, this yo-yo. I really like it. It's been one that I've been carrying a lot. It's kind of been in the same section as like the honey badger for me, where it's like very representative of a company and an individual's taste. It doesn't have like any crazy gimmicks or anything that is gonna like make it divisive to people. It's got a very nice, even, all-rounded feel. But at the same time, you can feel the person's taste and proclivities in it, similar to the honey badger. So that's why I kind of compare them a lot. I don't think they're like aesthetically the same or physically the same. They just have that same vibe to me. And for that, it feels very comfortable to use. Now, again, because I do talk too much in the review, and someone mentioned they just wanted to hear the yo-yo spinning. For you ASMR fans out there. As far as like the vibe, there's none. It's any vibration you're gonna feel or hear is from the material. It doesn't have any physical vibe at all. I don't know the bearing he used, but this one has been fantastic. It's never locked up on me, it's not over lubed, it's never gotten loud, but it's not quiet either, so I don't think he oiled it. I think he just used a good bearing. So yeah, that's the Memento. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you can still get these on the site. I just saw an Instagram post this morning. It kind of inspired me to finally make this video, that he was doing a bunch of testing for new mementos that are going out in a new order. So definitely, if you get a chance, go over to Mike Monty's website. I think it's mikemonty.com. Anyway, I think I've got one more of these videos. There's a yo-yo I've been wanting to talk about a long time from MK1 yo-yos, so we'll see if I can get to that sometime soon. But yeah, as far as after that, I don't know what's in store for the channel, if there is anything in store for the channel. So thanks for waiting for whatever 5 or 6 months it's been, probably longer. I'll probably put out a video talking about why there's been a gap and all that pretty soon, so you can get an idea of what is going on with Tokyo-yo. Go get a Memento, they're really fun. And he didn't pay me to say that. He even said when he sent it, you don't need to make a video. He was just sending it to me out of appreciation because we've been talking and in contact for a while on Instagram and other stuff. So thank you very much to Mike. This is a very good yo-yo. You guys should be proud of it, and other people should definitely grab it. Go get you one or two or whatever. Hi guys, sayonara.